Good morning out there. In there, out there. In here on a rainy day out here, in here. Baby Snows. My buddy, the wonderful Julie, sitting right over there. Oh my goodness. A chilly, rainy day. Kind of like these rainy days, except got a lot of mulch to put around and a lot of flowers to plant. Whoo, what a day yesterday. I had a birthday. As if you need to know that. Well, the best time. Daughter Meredith made these little tiny, she must have made 50 of them. Each one different birthday cards. They weren't any bigger than that. And they were spread around, and Julie set up this whole display. And some friends of ours, you know what they gave me for my birthday? Well, an incredible dinner and a pie cake. A cake. Oh, Julie's sighing over that. Yeah. And they power washed the back of the house. Is that a gift for an 80-year-old? That's pretty good, huh? Power wash the back of the house. And Jesse, who's been working here for 2.5 years now, renovating the place, he and his dear kids came on and said, "Happy birthday, Mr. Jack." This is really nice, you know. Julie, of course, got me the best present and a new shirt because, as you can see, this one has a big smudge on it. Oh, is that coffee good? And Jim Alice gave me a book. It's beautiful. I told you about that one, about trees. But also, he showed up with, well, there it went. Anyway, the point is, it's a yoga with goats. And, of course, you get to do that kind of thing. Ta-da! And just I heard from so many people, so I'll be overlooking people, and that's not good. And my dear sister in Florida, and you didn't give me a thing. Yeah, and we went out. Meredith and Julia and I went to the Mexican restaurant in Fenville, and we had way too much to eat, and also a 1.5 gallon pitcher full of margaritas. So if I'm a little boyish, better have a little more coffee on that one. Ooh. And then they came out, put a sombrero on me, and the whole staff came out and sang, and then gave me a shot of something that made me not able to drive home, but I threw that baby down. Woo-wee. There's just a lot of stuff here I've written down that you probably don't need to know, but I think I've mentioned that I haven't said good morning and welcome to Sentimentalists, and good morning Mark and Mariana and David, still going in Houston with those radiation treatments. And you know what? Annie, who's had just hard to believe what she's undergone. She went from, well, we'll check it again. We better check it again, to get in here, immediate surgery and bypass and a bad recovery and 2 lungs that collapsed. And she sat right over there in that rocker yesterday and paid a nice visit. So that was a really nice birthday present, my goodness. And Julie gave me, well, can't wait to get my new bird feeder out there. See, I've been thinking a lot lately about how do you talk to people or help people so you can keep that other stuff from entering the conversation. And just get back to talking about, have you ever tried one of those squirrel-proof bird feeders? And we need more conversations about that. Everything's under pressure. Julie's under pressure at church because they're looking for a new minister, and Everybody has, I have an idea. That's a very hard place to be in. Excuse me, do you have a minute? An hour later, I had an idea. So how do we just, how do we recover those things that we just love that we're every day, Oh, I haven't dusted the study for a while. I think I better do that. Slurping. Boy, that's good. Yeah. How about that eclipse? That was fun. I just watched the whole thing. And I had a neighbor who's 89, and I said, how about that eclipse? He said, I need to watch an eclipse. How many times, I've seen one eclipse. Did this one look like that? Don't you love that stuff? Seen one sunset that looked... No, actually, it didn't look like that. No, not if you really looked. Well, let's see what else we have here. We have Ruth Swald, It is a big deal what she's won with her book. So watch for that collection coming out. And also, I want to announce that I'm doing a session at Oxbow in June, an all-day Saturday. Oh, is it fun? And it'll be on writing about your personal history, what I've been talking about. Let's get back to what matters. And another one with daughter Meredith. She and I will do art and writing about personal history. And you don't have to be good at either. The main thing is to get it down because you don't have time. Don't have time. Now, I do want to say one thing about the distraction. This business about the rump Bible, that's one of the most sickening. Everything has gone too far, but that's really gone too far. I keep thinking of Richard Rohr, Master Eckhart, or St. Paul. What happened to their Bible? Whether you follow the Bible or not, and it's not a scripture for me, it's a book, but for a lot of people it is a scripture. I have to figure out whether I should wash the clothes today or not. I don't know what they do with it, but here. Let me look. Oh, yeah, here's something I think we've worked with our daughter a lot, and it's been really helpful, and during a time like this, especially helpful, and that is that most of us are raised to try to do some good. And then what are you going to do about somebody who holds up the Bible and puts the Constitution inside it? It's ours. And our thing with Meredith, and in working with all the poets that I do, is there's another thing you do, and that is that you create good and you put it in the world. And it doesn't fix anything, but it's kind of like looking at little kids playing, They're creating good. Able to do anything, we're not either. Now, I had a wonderful time. How's hard time? Because I had a lot of stuff. Gee. Two main things, I guess. Well, on Sunday, I got invited to what's called C3, which is a compassionate spiritual community a little bit north of here. And they have a wonderful setup at 9 o'clock. A group of people sit together, and whoever the speaker is, gives a question. And my question was, why is being religious only if you have a religion? And they had a wonderful time talking about that. And then there's a service that is beautiful. The singing was astonishing. There was a meditation, some announcements. And then they have the speaker. And I don't know what I talked about because it was kind of a collage, but a kind of center of it that seemed to strike a lot of the people was how hard it is to be a human, and that all the faults that we have we get blamed for, but we never really asked to have those faults. We didn't, and why do we get blamed for them? Now we have to learn not to be violent or something, but Julie saves me day after day because I'm no good at anything practical or electronic or food, anything. I'm not much good at anything. I can haul mulch. Yeah. Anyway, so you do that little talk, and then afterwards, they gather, as many as want, in a big circle, and they talk about the talk. And that was very moving, because I was fascinated by it not being a thesis kind of talk where somebody had something to say and somebody said, what do you think? And it was a disagreement and an argument. It was all about what they call in literature, which they didn't realize they were doing, reader response, which means what happened to you when you were reading the book? That's how I taught literature. What happened for you when you were reading the book? Not what happened to Larry when he went into the diner on page 84. And I gave tests like the name of the book, What Happened for You, and then fill in the blank. That was the fill in the blank test. Anyway, it was a wonderful experience. Now we're running out of time, and I'm talking too fast. And my buddy's been so good. And of course, this is one of those things that you do when you don't say, I need to keep up with CNN. No, you need to keep up with petting the dog. Yeah, that's what you have to keep up with. And kissing your loved ones and laughing under pressure and blah, blah, blah. So how about Coach Cal, our dear friend John Calipari? My sister was heartbroken, and it's just because we're coaches' kids and we know what they do to coaches. And so we know what was behind the scenes for Cal. You know what was behind the scenes for this coach? A human being. You know what else was behind that coach? A family. And do you know how he was treated? Like no one would treat anybody. I mean, you don't treat people like that. So he came up with very much Cal. He's resilient, and he's smart, and he's savvy, and he's wise, and he gets picked on for being slick. No. Protects his family, and he figured it out. A couple people leave Arkansas. A couple people turn down the coach. Cal thinks, that'll turn things around. I'll move there. And the people be all excited, and we have, holy cow, Coach Cal's coming to Arkansas, Fayetteville, and his family, what they have to go through to move, and they've made all these friends in Lexington, and you wouldn't believe the we're talking millions of dollars that Cal has given to charities, etc., and he won't tell anybody. So anyway, it's a fascinating story, and I know the sorrow. So with that, let's finish up with a basketball poem that kind of touches on that a little bit. Has a horrendously long title for a very short poem, which I always taught the students is a good idea, actually. Get it all up in the title. and have the poem respond to the title instead of naming the poem. Coach reflects with his wife on the end of the season. Couldn't we go for a ride somewhere? Couldn't we start it all over? Find some way to pass our time, let it disappear. You could sleep quietly, and I'd get up early. We'd sell antiques. We'd open a little restaurant, just sandwiches and delicious pies, apple, blueberry, cherry, pumpkin. In the fall, we'd can vegetables. We'd laugh as we strained the plump red tomatoes. We'd stare at the jars, let their rich autumn colors warm us deep into winter. Thanks for being with us. Find something else to do. Take care, be kind, try to be cheerful. Remember Bibby's nose.